Welcome back to another Data Explainer. Today, we're taking a massive deep dive into the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And look, this isn't just the biggest football tournament in history. Logistically, tactically, and economically, it's basically the most complex sporting event ever created. We're talking 3 host nations and a brand new, expanded format that completely shifts the entire paradigm of global football. With so many wild variables, human intuition kind of hits a wall here. So we asked the AI, who does the data say will actually lift the trophy? But before we get to the winner, I want to hit you with 3 staggering questions the data threw at us. First, can an 18-year-old prodigy actually defy an 18% AI win probability? Supercomputers are literally calculating the exact odds of a teenager putting an entire nation on his back, and the numbers are absolutely wild. Second question, is a genuinely grueling 104-match marathon going to physically break the game's ultimate legends? Seriously, this isn't your standard summer tournament. It's an unprecedented survival gauntlet. And finally, who does a supercomputer pick to win the ultimate 2026 final? Stick around because by the end of this explainer, I'm revealing the exact matchup and the undisputed data-driven champion. Section 1, the 48-team survival test. Okay, let's dive into this. Before we even look at the favorites, we've got to understand the massive logistical obstacles standing in their way. The 2026 format introduces a 48-team survival test. Honestly, the human mind struggles to predict this simply because the variables have exponentially multiplied. Just think about this number, 104 matches. That is a massive jump from the traditional 64-game format we all grew up with. We're jumping from 32 teams to 48, adding an entirely new round of 32 to the knockouts. This turns the tournament into an absolute endurance test. Squad depth isn't just a luxury anymore, folks. It's a fundamental mathematical requirement to survive an 8-game stretch to the final. And it's not just the games, it's where they're played. Teams aren't just playing their opponents, they are literally battling the North American continent itself. You've got the stifling, exhausting humidity of Miami, and then days later, you might travel across the continent to the thin air of Mexico City, sitting at over 2,000 meters of altitude. The recovery metrics here are brutal. That means cross-continental travel, fatigue, and extreme weather will directly dictate which tactics actually work and which ones completely fall apart. Section 2. Legends versus young prodigies. So, who actually has the personnel to survive this? When we shift our focus to the players on the pitch, the data frames this tournament as a definitive generational clash. It's essentially the last dance going head-to-head with the new dominators. On one side, you have 39-year-old Lionel Messi. His ability to just walk, scan, and manage the tempo of a game is a statistical anomaly, allowing Argentina to preserve vital energy. But on the flip side, you have the sheer athletic dominance of Kylian Mbappe right in his prime, colliding with the explosive rise of teenagers like Lamine Yamal and Arda Güler. It's a fascinating tactical battle, calculated veteran game management versus raw, blistering use. Section 3. The AI Football Oracle's Top 5 Favorites. Let's get into the actual probabilities. We asked AI models like Google Gemini and the Optus supercomputer to crunch the numbers, factoring in tactical styles, climate adaptability, knockout win percentages, and squad depth. Starting off our top 5, we have the historic South American giants. Down at number 5 is Brazil with an 11.1% win probability. They are relying heavily on Vinicius Jr. and their new structural discipline, though they are dealing with some massive transitional hurdles. Right above them, tied at 11.1%, is the defending champion Argentina. Yes, they boast an elite defensive spine with Emi Martinez, but they are absolutely fighting the clock with an aging squad. Coming in at number 3 with a 15% probability is England. Now, the AI is heavily factoring in what it's calling the Tuchel effect, this idea that their new manager brings a pragmatic, tournament-winning DNA to a squad that just so happens to have the highest market value in the tournament, all spearheaded by Jude Bellingham. Taking the number 2 spot is France at 16.7%. The data absolutely loves the French talent pipeline. Their incredible defensive depth with guys like Saliba and Chouameni means they can rotate effortlessly, which, remember, is vital for that grueling 8-game marathon. Add to that Kylian Mbappe's terrifying expected goals metrics, and you've got a statistical juggernaut. But that brings us to the data-driven favorite. It is incredibly tight at the top, but standing alone with an 18.2% probability of winning it all is Spain. Currently ranked number 1 by FIFA, La Roja is the absolute metric-driven powerhouse for 2026. So, why Spain? Well, it all comes down to a tactical system known as vertical tiki-taka.
They've kept their traditional suffocating possession control through their midfield anchor Rodri, but they've paired it with lethal, explosive speed on the wings through dynamic players like Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. It's practically a perfect metric-driven system.
And this quote right here brilliantly illustrates why that specific system matters so much for 2026. As the Gemini AI noted, Spain's ability to rest with the ball will be the deciding factor. Think about it. In a tournament defined by high altitude and stifling humidity, constantly chasing the ball is a tactical death sentence. Spain's possession acts as the ultimate defense mechanism, conserving their physical output across the entire exhausting month. Now, we do have to remember, data is incredibly fluid. A supercomputer's math can change in an instant with early tournament injuries. For example, Brazil losing Rodrigo to an ACL tear is a massive blow to their attacking math. Germany losing Serge Gnabry weakens their crucial wing rotation. And for our favorite, Spain, Lamine Yamal's hamstring injury is the biggest wild card. He is expected to be fully fit, but his explosive recovery is absolutely crucial to maintaining Spain's top-tier odds. Section 4. The Ultimate AI Final. All right, we've looked at the environmental variables, the squad depths, and the shifting probabilities. It's time to reveal the AI's ultimate simulated winner. What the simulations consistently point to is a massive clash of footballing philosophies: individual brilliance versus collective discipline. You have France's match-winning raw talent going up against Spain's systemic perfection. In fact, deep data models suggest that a massive Spain versus France semifinal will essentially act as the real final of this tournament. But there can only be one winner at the end of this 104-match marathon. Factoring in their unique ability to dictate tempo, preserve vital energy in extreme North American climates, and perfectly blend blistering youth with veteran experience, the Data Oracle crowns Spain as your 2026 World Cup champions. Okay, before you head down to the comments to debate the AI, please make sure you support the channel. If you love this kind of deep, data-driven analysis, hit that subscribe button, turn on all notifications so you never miss an upload, and please smash that like button on this explainer. It really feeds the algorithm and helps us bring more of this content straight to your feed. Now, I really want to hear from you. Do you agree with the supercomputer's math here? Who do you think will actually win the 2026 World Cup? Drop your predictions down in the comments, and while you're there, let us know what complex topic we should analyze next. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, stay curious.